There is a place tucked deep within the valleys of northern Nigeria, a place that doesn't appear on any modern map, a place where time seems uncertain, where clocks hang on walls frozen at the same hour year after year. The locals once called it Ikiora. To travelers, it was simply known as the town where no one ages. At first glance, Ikiora was ordinary. Quiet streets, neat houses, smiling faces that never seemed to fade. There was no hunger, no funerals, no birthdays. The air itself felt heavy with calm. Too calm. But behind the laughter, behind the painted smiles and unchanging faces, something darker was lurking. Something far more ancient. Something that people refused to speak of aloud. The few who claimed to pass through Ikiora told the same strange story. They remembered crossing a dirt road lined with wilted trees, then waking up at the town's gate, surrounded by people who looked too perfect, too still. And when they left, if they ever did, their memories came back in fragments like torn pages from a burned book. Some say the town made a deal, a silent bargain between the living and their reflections, a promise that no one would grow old, as long as they never questioned the mirrors that lined their walls. Others say the people of Ikiora were trapped, cursed to relive each day as if time had folded in on itself. No one agrees on when it began. No one remembers when it ended. But every story, every single one, ends the same way. Someone looks into a mirror and sees a version of themselves, still standing there long after they've turned away. Tonight we go beyond the legend. We'll uncover the history, the testimonies, and the disturbing evidence that suggests Ikiora may have been more than a story. Because if the tales are true, then somewhere, hidden beneath the dust of forgotten time, there is still a town where no one ages. And maybe, just maybe, it's still waiting for someone new to arrive. According to official records, Ikiora once sat between two rural trade routes, a farming community with fewer than 200 residents. It appeared on maps up until 1983, and then without explanation it vanished. The name was removed. The coordinates no longer matched any existing land. Government reports listed Ikiora as evacuated, supposedly due to a landslide that buried most of the area. But no geological event was ever confirmed. The few surviving photographs show smiling residents standing in front of brick houses, hands resting on one another's shoulders. Yet when the images are magnified, something feels wrong. Their faces are sharp, but their shadows and faint, blurred as if taken from another time entirely. In 1992, a group of surveyors passing through a nearby village reported seeing lights on the ridge where Ikiora once stood. They said they heard singing, a slow, childlike chant echoing through the fog. When they approached, they found the remains of a road, overgrown but still warm to the touch as if used only hours before. The locals refused to go near it. They said Ikiora was still alive, that the people never left and they simply stopped moving forward. They don't get older, I swear it. I saw the same woman twice, 10 years apart, same clothes, same face. She waved at me both times. No journalist ever verified that recording. The man who made it disappeared 3 weeks later on a return trip to confirm his findings. His car was discovered on an empty road, headlights still on, no driver. As years passed, Ikiora became a myth, a warning shared among travelers. But recently, fragments began to resurface. A blurred photograph uploaded to an anonymous forum, an old letter from a government clerk claiming to have been stationed there. Each piece different, yet all describing the same haunting detail. The people in Ikiora never changed. Those who've studied the phenomenon believe something about that valley defies time itself. Others whisper of an ancient ritual once performed every harvest season. A ritual involving mirrors, reflections, and the promise of eternal youth. Whatever the truth is, it's hidden behind silence, sealed under decades of fear and denial. And yet, last year, a journalist named Adaizi claimed to have found Ikiora again. Her footage was never aired. Only her voice remained. Tonight, we'll follow her final recordings and uncover what she saw when she entered the town where no one ages. The following recordings were recovered from a memory card found near the ruins of an abandoned checkpoint, 30 miles north of Kaduna. They belong to investigative journalist Adaiz Okoye, who was working on a feature titled Forgotten Towns of Nigeria. Testing 1, 2, day 1, heading north. Locals say there's a place called Ikiora. Most of them laugh when you ask about it. Others just walk away. She spent weeks gathering leads, road maps, satellite images, fragments of oral stories. But every path she traced ended abruptly, like the town had been erased from memory itself. Until she met an old driver in a roadside canteen, who whispered the same warning 3 times before agreeing to show her the way. "If you see them," he said, "don't look into their mirrors." He refused payment. He simply left his car keys and disappeared into the fog. Adiz began her journey at dawn. The road to Ikiora was narrow, a thin scar through endless fields. The mist grew thicker with every mile. Birds stopped singing. Her phone lost signal. The first sign of something unusual came when her wristwatch froze. Both hands locked at 7:13 a.m. She tapped the glass. Nothing. The air felt colder inside the car. Then that's when she saw the boy. A child standing by the roadside, barefoot, staring at her car as she passed. He waved, low, almost robotic. Adiz glanced in her rearview mirror, but when she turned back to the road ahead, the same boy stood there again. Same torn shirt. Same blank face. Her voice, recorded hours later, trembled slightly. "It's like I've been driving in circles, but the road keeps changing. I keep hearing footsteps when I stop, like someone's walking around the car." After nearly an hour, she reached a broken wooden sign half buried in the earth. The letters were barely visible, carved by hand. "Eerie." The fog lifted, revealing rooftops glinting in sunlight. The town looked alive, too alive. Adiz parked near a fountain. Dozens of people filled the streets, smiling politely, greeting her as if they'd been expecting her. Children played tag beside an old clock tower, though the hands on the clock never moved. Elderly women sold fruit that looked fresh yet somehow untouched by time. And everywhere she turned, mirrors, in windows and doorways, even mounted on trees. Each one gleamed as if freshly polished, though no one seemed to be cleaning them. She waved her camera toward one of the villagers, a man with silver hair and a warm smile. "How long have you lived here?" she asked. The man paused, eyes fixed on her lens. "How long?" he repeated softly, as though searching for the memory. "As long as the sun has risen." That's when it noticed something odd. None of the villagers cast a shadow. The afternoon light stretched across the streets, but beneath their feet, done nothing. Only the flicker of movement inside the mirror showed where their shapes should have been. Adiz's final note from that day read, "They keep smiling at me. Even when I stop recording and their reflections, they move a little slower than they do." What she didn't know yet was that Ikiora had been waiting for her. Adiz spent her first night in Ikiora at a small inn near the edge of town. The owner, a quiet woman named Emma, greeted her with that same perfect smile everyone else wore, lips curled but eyes unblinking. The room was spotless, too spotless. No dust, no scent of age, not even a creak in the wooden floorboards. On the far wall stood an enormous mirror, polished, silver-framed, perfectly clean. Adiz's notes describe what happened next. "It's strange, and when I move, it moves, but when I stop, it hesitates while like it's catching up. I smiled at it just now, but I swear, it smiled before I did." She draped a cloth over the glass before turning off the lights. But somewhere between sleep and waking, she heard it. Knock, knock, knock. 3 soft knocks from behind the mirror. She didn't move. The recorder caught her breathing, shallow, fast, followed by the sound of the cloth slipping to the floor. By morning, the mirror was uncovered. Her reflection was smiling. She wasn't. Later that day, Adiz met Chike, an elderly man sitting beneath the clock tower. His face was calm, his hair silver, yet his skin unlined, eyes bright and young. She asked him how long he'd lived in Ikiora. He replied without hesitation, 73 years. She looked at him confused. He didn't appear a day over 40. Cheek's expression darkened for the first time. "Our reflections took our time," he said. "We only live as long as they do. When you see yourself too long here," he told her, "the mirror remembers, it learns your face, and one day it doesn't need you anymore." Adiz's notes paused for nearly 10 minutes after that entry. When the recording resumes, her voice is shaking. "Every house has mirrors. In the halls, by the windows, even outside on poles. I saw a woman combing her hair in one, and her reflection never blinked." That night, the town gathered in the old community hall, a wide circular building lined entirely with mirrors. The recording picks up faint voices, the sound of 100 people murmuring in unison. Adiz whispered into her mic, They're chanting, I think it's a prayer or maybe a song. The mirrors shimmered, faint light rippling across their surfaces. Faces began to appear within, but they weren't reflections. They were younger. Children or adults should have been. Youthful versions smiling back, eyes gleaming with life long gone. Adese gasped. Her own reflection was moving again, slightly out of sync. It blinked, tilted its head, then smiled, a slow, knowing grin. She stumbled back, her camera falling to the floor. Every mirror in the hall flickered, and for a split second they all looked at her. She ran. Outside, the streets were empty. The laughter had stopped. She drove toward the main road, but no matter which turn she took, every path led her back to the same fountain. Her notes become frantic. The signs are changing. The road bends differently. I keep ending up here. I smashed the rearview mirror, but I heard something scream. My voice. It was my voice. For 3 minutes, the recording captures nothing but static, until a faint whisper cuts through. If anyone finds this, don't look into the mirrors. That was Adaise's last transmission. Her car was discovered weeks later, abandoned beside a crack. The engine was cold, but the mirrors inside were warm to the touch. Time. We chase it, we measure it, we fear it slipping away. But in Ikiora, time stood still. And maybe that's the true horror. Not losing time, but being trapped inside it. Every story about Ikiora ends the same way. Someone stares into their reflection just a little too long and realizes the reflection isn't waiting anymore. As you watch this now, your screen fades to blacken, but somewhere nearby a mirror waits, waiting for you to glance at it, even for a moment. So tonight, when you pass by your mirror, look closely. Tell me, did your reflection blink first? Call to action. Narrator shifts tone slightly, still eerie but inviting. If you've ever looked into a mirror and felt like something was watching you, comment below what you saw. Like this video, if you dare to uncover the next cursed town, and subscribe, if you're brave enough to face your reflection again.